All right, hello and welcome to the San Jose State Weekly Football Press Conference. Spartans with the win on the road last Thursday, 27-20 against the UNLV Rebels, and now will come home against Wyoming this Saturday, October 30th, 1 o'clock kickoff from CEFCU Stadium. The game will be televised on FS2, and you can hear the call on 860 AM KTRB starting at 12:30. There's a lot of great events surrounding this home game. 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com to get your tickets. There is now a time for the following week's game on November the 6th, the Saturday up in Reno, Nevada against the Wolfpack. That's a 7 o'clock game now, the following Saturday. So 7 o'clock on the 6th and 1 o'clock this week as we welcome in San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan.
Hello, good to see everybody. Looking forward to these returning to in person, hopefully at some point. But last week was a great win for us on the road against UNLV. Obviously, a really hard fought game. I talked in my post game press conference about just the team's resilience, staying in it, finding a way. I thought our energy, I thought our sideline. I thought the guys did a fantastic job of just, hey, the scoreboard doesn't look good. Just keep playing. And then, I think a bunch of those playmakers showed up and made plays at critical moments in the game, and so huge win for us on the road. Hadn't won out there for a while. And, like I said the other night, credit to my good friend Marcus Arroyo and that staff out there. Those guys they're playing good. They're playing good football. And, they've been in a bunch of one possession games, which as we prepare for Wyoming and I look at this conference right now, that's kind of what this conference is. I think last weekend there was a bunch of one possession games. Everybody's good. Everybody's well coached. You have to be ready to play every week. And, that's kind of how this thing looks right now. The influx of, the super seniors and those guys that have played a lot of football just adds a unique maturity to every game. And so it's definitely exciting football to watch. Wyoming, Coach Bull is one of the best coaches in our conference, one of the best coaches in the country. He's done an incredible job at Wyoming. His staff, they're always very well coached, very sound. They play extremely hard. This is another just really, big time battle. I'm excited that we get to play at home. Our crowds at CEFCU Stadium this season have been fantastic. I mean, game day here is becoming something really special. And you see the large crowds in the stands, but really it's the large crowds before the ball's ever kicked off, whether that's, the alumni and the students, on our practice fields or, kind of the game day experience that's been set up, in the north end zone of our stadium or, just across the street with that, our overfilled parking lot for our campus full of people that are excited about San Jose State football and excited about watching the team play. So I'm really excited that we have a home game. It's a 1 o'clock kick, which is a rarity in my mind for Spartan football. And so, we've got a big week ahead of us to prepare for a very, very good Wyoming team.
All right, we're going to open up to questions now. Vitas, go ahead.
Coach, yesterday with the atmospheric river hitting the Bay Area, I know the Niners had a tough time. Were you able to accomplish anything with the players on the practice field, or did you kind of pass on that, just because of the conditions?
We went early in the morning, or not early, but relatively early. So it had not quite hit the way it has. I watched some of that 49er game, and obviously that made that really, really challenging, and especially playing on natural grass. It looks slippery. The ball looks slick. Lots of turnovers, and so just what a tough kind of atmospheric river to play in. I was glad we were not playing at the time. So, but we got done what we need to get done yesterday. Today's the players' day. Today is the players' day off, and so we're busy working on a game plan for Wyoming.
Jackson Moore, you have a question?
Coach, it seems like the kind of the basic formula is similar with Wyoming to what you saw 2 weeks ago with San Diego State, as far as a team that likes to run the ball and has a challenging defense. Just you kind of compare and contrast a little bit how your game plan this week is going to look compared to what you did against the Aztecs?
It's kind of a much different challenge, I would say, because of the structure of Wyoming versus the structure of San Diego State. Two vastly different fronts and two just way different things that you have to prepare for. When I look at this roster from Wyoming, lots of these guys, I feel like were seniors when we played them 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Was it? I think that was right. Like 18 was the last time we played them. But they've done a really good job there. They've built a roster of tough kids and talented kids, and Coach Bull's won there more consistently than any coach they've had in a long time. So we know this is going to be a heck of a battle with these guys. It always is when we play them, and hopefully our home crowd will give us a little juice in CEFCU.
Caleb, do you have a question for Coach? Caleb, do you have a question? Vitas, back to you.
Hey, Coach, you've only allowed 100 yards rushing to one team so far this season, and only 5 rushing touchdowns. What is the key for your front seven and the success that they've been having? And I know that sometimes the safeties bail them out too with tackles close to the goal line.
Yeah, absolutely. Our defense has been playing really good football, and I think it's exciting to see what Coach Odom and that staff have done just with the whole thing, putting it together, building it piece by piece, and then kind of the biggest contributions from those players and just how they've grown and developed. And I think the continuity with our coaching staff is a huge part of that. The ability to not change leadership, at the coordinator position or at an assistant spot, I think is really, really valuable. And then, those players have kind of grown up in the program together, and they've been through a lot of really hard battles. And so it's just great to see how they play for each other and just how hard they play. And I think that's something that's given us a chance to be in the games that we play each week.
Jackson, do you have another question?
Yeah, Coach, Wyoming's had some offensive struggles the last 2 games, and they've been toying with the quarterback position a little bit. Just you have to prepare for both for this one.
Yeah, I think you do. And I think when you play these guys, there's going to be some things that they just do fundamentally that are always consistent. They're going to run the football very, very well. They're going to block the right guy and go to the right place. And, they've got 2 big body wideouts, which make it hard on the perimeter because they can throw the ball up and those guys can make plays. And so, when you watch them play, that you have to get used to fit in some different boxes because, Chambers will be heavily involved in the run game, and, in just their run game in general has always been extremely good. So, that's kind of the mindset you have to go into it with in terms of your preparation.
Vitas, go back to you.
Coach, I know your status on injury updates, so I'm not going to ask about the health status of Nick Starkel in terms of where he's at. But if he does return to practice and if he is available and healthy, would you let us know on that term?
Would I let you know if he was going to play in the game Saturday?
If he was back at practice and available, going to start.
Well, I mean, Vitas, you can come watch practice. It's open every day. No, Nick's progress is ongoing, and if he's ready to play, then he would be definitely someone that we would want to get on the field.
And on the other terms, Nick Nash, you talked about his decisiveness, and where do you feel he's at a comfort level now that he's made 4 career starts?
Well, I think he's just, getting more comfortable playing. And, I think that quarterback position is one of the most unique positions in all of sports. And the only way to really get good at it is by playing. And so to watch Nick kind of grow and develop and, hopefully that learning curve continues to accelerate with the more game reps he gets. And like I've mentioned on, many occasions, he's a very, very competitive kid, and he wants to be really good. And so he's, all the time working on football and, how he can improve and, watching film and trying to give himself a chance to play good football and lead our team.
Jackson, go ahead.
What stands out about their defense to you?
Number 48 is an unbelievable player. But I think the biggest thing is that, they are going to be extremely sound and, kind of in some ways, physically or in terms of physicality, similar to some of the more physical teams we played, whether that's Colorado State or San Diego State or Western Michigan. That's how they play. And so that's what we have to be ready for.
Vitas, going back to you.
Coach, the offense has gone to a few, slow starts to the games, sometimes not finding the end zone until the very end of the first half. What do you do to address that? I know you want to put up points early, but what's going to be the key to get the offense going early?
Well, I think last game, we did some stuff early in that game that hurt our chances to get off to a good start, right? Just starting with the opening kickoff. So, just getting our getting our guys in a good groove. Last week we did a nice job with that opening possession. We just didn't score, right? We ended up with a field goal, I believe. So, it's just, okay, we've had a nice drive. We get down the red zone. Now we got to finish it. And so that's always, something that we're talking about a lot as an offense and making sure we have put ourselves in the best position to give ourselves a chance to score when we get down there.
Jackson, do you have another one? Vitas, do you have any more?
How much do you think Derek Deese has improved his draft status just over this season and his decision to come back and play one more year?
Well, I hope it's really helped him. I mean, I think he's playing great football right now. He's always been an extremely hard worker, and it's really fun to see his development just over his time here. I think Coach Atkins does a great job with our tight end group. You've seen a lot of different people playing games and make plays for us there, and Deese is one of those guys. It's been a multi-year process for him, but he's playing his best football his last year of school, and I think that part is going to be a lot of fun to see what happens for him on the next level.
What about? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
Yeah, no. What about? You mentioned the big-bodied receivers. You have two cornerbacks who are very aggressive in terms of passes defended. How do you feel they match up? How comfortable you feel with the options you have out wide on defense?
Well, I think the good news is that both of our corners do have some length to them, but the receivers from Wyoming are both bigger men than than our corners, and so we're gonna have to do a great job of playing good coverage, having our eyes in the right place, and then aggressively playing the football when it's in the air. And, that's something that we obviously drill endlessly in practice and trying to get them ready for what that's going to feel like to have to cover down on a, 6'3", 6'4", 200 and something pound wideout, like they have at Wyoming.
Vitas, do you have any more?
And do you feel that the players getting those extra couple of days off? Just the health status? Not the health status, but just overall getting that rest. How much do you think after back-to-back short weeks that maybe everything can be back to normal?
Well, I'm hopeful that gives us a little bit of a chance to get fresh, both physically and mentally, for our players. Playing back both those short games back to back, even just in general, like the schedule's been tricky that way with some travel and some of that stuff. So I'm hopeful that our team shows up ready to work tomorrow and is excited about attacking the process of preparing for a very good Wyoming team that's coming out here that we haven't played for a few years. So you don't know the same about them that you do with the people that you play year in and year out.
All right, Kevin, go ahead.
Let me see. First question has to do with logos. I know the Spartan logo is our favorite, but Cowboy Joe has got to be a close second. I'll ask you your favorite logo in the Mountain West. And then talk a little bit about Jack Snyder, 48 starts as an offensive lineman. I know, your early career was built around wide receivers. They cover a lot of ground during a game, but I'm always just kind of in awe of an offensive lineman who can start 48 games, because it's hard for them to hide, right? A D lineman can kind of hide once in a while and, I got double teamed, but a guy like that, just talk a little bit about him and what he means to your team, because it's been impressive to watch.
Okay. Am I supposed to answer the logo question first?
Well, if you want, yeah, I was throwing that out.
I would say, yes, Sammy the Spartan is my favorite logo in the conference, so much so that we have a dog named Sammy. It's been kind of a family thing. We have two dogs. One of them is named Benny, after Benny the Beaver from when we were at Oregon State. So we have Benny and Sammy holding down the fort during the atmospheric river last night and the hurricane that hit our city. They were going crazy. Jack is an awesome human being. You're exactly right, Kevin. That many starts at that position is truly special. And I think it speaks to his preparation, his off season, how he takes care of his body. That's always been something that's been really important to him. We talked about it a lot a year ago, was during shelter in place. Jack was sending me a video of the squat rack that he built at his house, with like 2x4s and stuff. And I was like, okay, Jack, you're really smart, but I want to make sure the engineering of this project is sound, right? But that's just how committed he was. He literally went and got lumber and built a squat rack at his house. And, that part of it, just the guys that are able to play with that kind of consistency and that longevity are guys that take all parts of their process extremely seriously, right? Like Jack is working on his MBA right now. He's just unique, right? He's incredibly smart, very tough. He loves the team. He's a very good leader. He's one of those guys that I think Spartan fans are going to look back on and just say, that was a really special player and person that we were lucky to have in our program for a long time. Okay. Thank you, everybody. See you Saturday.
All right, thanks everybody for attending the press conference. Once again, San Jose State at home against Wyoming on Saturday, 1:00 kickoff from Seth Q Stadium. The game will be televised on FS2, and you can have the radio call on KTRB 860 AM starting at 12:30 with our pregame show. 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com for tickets. Thanks. We'll talk to you next week.